So May marked another record-breaking month for illegal immigration as hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens were caught at the southwest U.S. border, all while Biden tries to end one of the few policies that make it easier to deport them. And this mass of people, it's not women and children. It's adults, single men. And Biden's border crisis, it's not a blunder, it's not mismanagement. It's a plan. Another 240,000 illegal aliens were caught crossing the southwest U.S. border in May. That's the single highest monthly total in Border Patrol history, a record that was previously set, well, in April. Altogether, that brings the total number of undocumented migrants caught at the Mexico border this fiscal year alone to just over 1,539,000, and we've still got 4 months left to go. But it's not the grand total that tells the story, incredible as that may be. This devil is in the details. See, while the left paints a tragic picture of families fleeing starvation and gang violence, the numbers tell a different story. Of the 1.5 million caught, more than 1 million were single adults. Less than 312,000 were members of family units, while fewer than 100,000 were unaccompanied children. The vast majority of those were teens. In fact, the number of single adults crossing the southwest U.S. border this year is up more than 62% from last year. Here's a video from this week showing a gigantic line of people standing by the border fence, literally waiting to turn themselves over to Border Patrol.
This is 2:45 in the morning in Yuma, India?
Yes.
India?
Yes.
India? Cubano? Cuba? Cubano? Colombia? Colombia? Peru? Colombia? Peru? Venezuela? Venezuela. ¿Venezuela?
Venezuela.
¿Cuál parte?
Maracaibo.
Maracaibo.
Do these look like nothing but families to you? Crowds of toddlers and babies, desperate mothers scrambling to escape violence, dragging their children over the border to the first safe place they could find. Is that what this looks like to you? Because the numbers don't bear that out. This picture, these videos, they don't bear that out. While children are absolutely included in this problem, this border crisis is predominantly hundreds of thousands of single adults, most of them men, crossing the border in droves because they believe that this administration will let them stay. And Biden is doing everything he can to facilitate that. Of the nearly 240,000 illegal aliens who crossed in May, only about 100,000 were expelled via Title 42. That's the Trump-era policy that says illegal aliens can be immediately deported in the interest of public health. You know, the policy the Biden administration is trying to end and would have already if it weren't for a judge saying no. Oh, and by the by, here's another fun fact, because believe it or not, this whole thing gets way worse. On top of the 1.5 million illegal aliens who've been nabbed at the border, another 440,000 known gotaways have crossed into this country, caught on camera, but not by agents. That's nearly 500,000 people. We don't know who they are, what their criminal record is, where they went, or what they're going to do while they're here.
To put that 440,000 number into context, that's roughly the population of the city of Miami, Florida. So huge numbers we're seeing in terms of migrant gotaways.
And if that doesn't give you the warm and fuzzies, since January, border agents have so far caught 50 people trying to sneak through the border who are on the U.S. terror watch list.
The number of members of the terrorist watch list that we've seen apprehended down here at the southern border, we've seen 50 so far this year in fiscal year 2022 apprehended between the ports of entry. So that means these are individuals who are trying to sneak through the border and not go into the United States through the traditional ports of entry.
Yay! This isn't a failure of this administration. This isn't a dropping of the ball. This isn't a massive screw up. This isn't indicative of a president who's too busy falling off of bikes and doesn't know his head from a hole in the ground. However true that may be, this is on purpose. When your border is leaking like a sieve, when terrorists are skipping across the Rio Grande, when National Guardsmen are drowning trying to save migrants in the river, when hundreds of thousands of people are crossing into your country and running off to God knows where, and you know it, and when border towns are declaring states of emergency because they can't handle the influx, and your response is to try to nix one of the few policies you've got that lets you kick these people back to where they belong, that's not a boo-boo. That's a plan. That's a plan to put illegal immigrants ahead of American citizens, to force taxpayers to cough up billions in money that they earned and were forced to turn over to the government, billions every year for border security, only to watch the revolving door spin with people and drugs and human trafficking. A plan to let droves of migrants with the benefit of a land bridge jump the line ahead of people waiting to get into this country legally, per the laws passed by a Congress of elected officials put there by the people. A plan that puts an endless and increasing strain on our welfare programs and our healthcare and our education system because for some reason we've decided that we are the only country in the entire world that doesn't get to have rules about who comes here and how. These are not mostly women and children. These are single adults. These are grown men. These are illegal aliens with no right to be here, no right to stay, and who shouldn't have had a way in. And this administration is rolling out the red carpet for this crisis for political gain. It is not a blunder or a sign of incompetence. It is on purpose. And if you and your wallet or your town or your kid's school has to pay the price for it, oh well. And that's your Reality Check, America. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube and Rumble pages, like us on Facebook and Twitter, and stay sane out there.